Hi, I'm Juliana, and I'm going to share with you today a couple of stretches that you could do after a long walk or stretch. I just got my medal there after a long walk, and today we're using a couple props for these stretches. I'm going to start using a massage ball or a tennis ball if you have. A foam roller might be handy here, and a towel or a blanket to support your knees. We're going to start with the massage ball. So there are a couple of ways that you can massage your feet after a long walk. You can use a chair and do it seated. And I'm going to start with that version first because it's less intense. You grab your ball, you bring it under your foot, and we're starting to release the fascia in the bottom of the foot. We're going to press firmly, moving it to the heel, and as we exhale, we bring it back to the toes. So inhaling, and then exhaling. Firmly pressing, and then releasing. Now, pausing it here into that middle of the foot. Start to do a little flaring with your toes gripping and flaring. Maybe you come into the ball of the foot, gripping, maybe into the center, and you can roll it from one arch to the other. Now, if you're not getting enough pressure doing this seated, you can do this standing up. I prefer the standing version. I've been doing this for a while, and I can really feel a lot of release when you start pressing firmly into the ball, moving back and forth. And you can pause in any part that's calling your attention if you want to stay there longer, right? This feels really good after this long walk. And then you can take it to the other side and do the same thing. Moving back and forth, exploring the areas that feels tighter, doing that little gripping with the toes, pressing firmly, moving from inner arch to outer arch. Right, gripping again, moving, wiggling those toes, and even coming closer to the heel like a high heel shoe, letting the ball of your foot be your anchor. All right, so from that, we're gonna move the ball out of the way. And now I'm gonna come to the mat and do that foam rolling, just taking that chair out of the way. And here, we're gonna use that foam roller. First, just release a little bit of the quads, the front of your hips here, and you just move it back and forth. Engaging the core, just feeling that releasing the top of your leg. Maybe you start to take it sideways. You can bend the knee. Also getting into that bottom part of the leg with that knee bent. This one is not too intense. It's just more of releasing, moving. You do it the same thing on the other side. And then you can even take it back, and we're going to move it into the back of the quads, the legs. And then we're going to focus a little bit more onto the outer hip. It's the area that tends to be really kind of tight when we do this walking. So by crossing that ankle, creating this little figure four, and shifting the weight to that outer hip, you can get more. You can even use your hand to pressure here to add more weight as you hinge over to the side. And then you can do the same thing on the other side. Right. And a really deeper release, if you would try to work with the ball, you can also use the ball. Now just be mindful that the massage ball, if you're not used to doing this release with the ball, this might be feeling very intense, especially after this big walk that you did. Might feel really tight. So just be mindful of that. Maybe sticking with the foam roller if you're really not used to this movement so much. Crossing the leg again, shifting that weight. You can always add more. And then doing the same thing onto the other side. Opening and closing. Targeting those outer hips and glutes. All right. So from here, we're going to move out of this and we're going to stand. And we're we're gonna find our blanket. So you're gonna take your blanket or a towel and you're gonna roll it up tight. And you're gonna use this for support. So if you don't have this, you can also use maybe a block or even the ball as well. I'm gonna move that chair a little closer in, and I'm gonna bring my foot to that towel, and my heel is gonna be down. I'm gonna hinge forward. Now notice that my leg is straight. As I hinge, I'm getting a really nice stretch in the back of my legs, my calves there. So we're working with the gastro, and then we're gonna work with the soleus, just those two muscles that really get involved with the calves, right? So now shifting the weight to the other foot comes in. You're getting this really nice stretch in the back. Now the next stretch does not involve, you can take that blanket out to the side. You're just gonna step it like if you're doing that runner stretch, right? You're still getting into the back. But now I'm gonna bring it back up. I'm gonna bend the knee. So I'm gonna bend the back knee, but keep the heel down. So this is stretching another, it's a different muscle. So this stretch is different than this one. Now you're getting into the soleus, it's a little deeper there. We're gonna take this and switch other side. And then you come up slightly, bend the back knee, keep pressing the heel down. Heel down, knee bent. And then each of these stretches you can always hold for 20, 30 seconds each. And then we're gonna move. If you like to take the kind of like more traditional heel down, hip back, toes up, hinging here, and then switching, heel down, toes up, hip pushing back, getting a nice stretch in the back, right? Well, these are different variations of these stretches. So we're gonna come down to the mat once again. And I'm gonna use the blanket there to support our knees, because we're gonna be working a little bit more into the knees. So as you come to your hands, it might be a nice way to release into your spine, letting the head relax, and doing just a couple cat-cows just to release the spine. Nice. And you can just move it forward, you can move it lateral, you can even circle it around. You just want to make sure that you find something that works for you, feels a little bit more even. And then we're going to take that right foot and step it forward. So as you step your right foot forward, we're looking for a little bit of a 90-degree angle. And now here I'm interested in pulling the navel in, dropping the tail, and chest lifting. When you feel this action happening, you get a deeper stretch because the muscle is starting to stretch. So we're focusing on those hip flexors and quadriceps muscles. Hands can support on the thigh to really remind your chest to stay lifted. You can even feel that energy of the heel, the front heel going back, the back knee going forward, like if you're scissoring your legs. And then we're going to switch and take it to the other side. So again, engaging the core, dropping the tail, feeling that scissoring action of the legs. Getting a nice stretch here. Great job. Then we're going to come down, and now we're going to come into variations of pigeon pose. So I'm going to start with the one that feels less intense, which would be on your back. So you can start with your figure 4 on your back and crossing the right ankle over the left thigh and threading the right hand between the legs. Left hand comes around and pulls it in, right? So this is your figure 4 stretching. And if it feels really tight here already that your hand can't come through, you can take a strap between the legs. The left hand comes around and finds it. And you can use your right elbow against the right thigh to push it away, the left knee to bring it in. Just adding more sensation into the glutes. All right, if this doesn't feel like it's enough for you and you want to take this more, you can also move into a 90-90, which is kind of what we call this 90-degree angle, one leg and then the other, and you start to hinge over that leg and hip. This could be, again, variation 2, 3, you're a little bit higher, but that knee, the back knee, starts to cross. You get a more stretch into the hips. And the final version, the pigeon pose, which is deeper, right, is that foot walks back, your hips are square, your chest lifts, and then you bring belly, chest, and forehead down. You can take your fist and let it come down, or relax your head all the way down. And again, just reminding yourself that this is definitely the deepest one of all those. So just finding a version that works for you to get into your glutes. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So again, it could be, I'm going to go from top to bottom this time. So it could be the more extreme, the pigeon, right? And you can relax your head. You can feel that stretch into your left glutes, and not enough, just imagine that your right foot's being dragged back, your hips square more. If that's too intense, 90-90, where you're hinging over that leg. You're seated completely, right? So less intense on the knees. That figure 4 seated is also an option. You can push your hands to lift your chest and bring that foot close in, or that figure 4 on your back. You can get more here, perhaps. Relax the head, soften the jaw. Excellent. And then you're going to release. So from here, we're just going to bring our hands to our knees and just circle your knees in one direction, massaging that lower back, and then circle it the other way. And just to finish it out with a twist, a spinal twist, which is really good after a long walk. You're going to drop your knees to the left and let the right arm open to the right. Soften and breathe deeper into the right side of the body. Give it a big sigh. And take the head to the center, knees to the center, and knees drop to the right, left arm opens to the left. Again, breathe into that left side, inhaling. And exhale, give it a big sigh. And then take your time, you come back to the center. Maybe you stay here a little longer. Maybe you extend, maybe you take a nap. Or when you feel ready to come back up, you come up and to finish. And again, repeating these stretches whenever you need, whenever you go for a run or a walk. And I hope you enjoy it. Be well.